Good morning, party people, and happy Sunday. You are now tuned in to Conversations with Coco with me, your girl Coco. Now, most of y'all know me as Kayla. That is the name my mama gave me. But in this setting, I'm Coco, right? And this is season 2, episode 1. Round of applause for me. Tuning in live on a Sunday. Sunday is not going to be my regular day. This is a one off, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it. So, if you are listening or watching me today, I appreciate you and thank you for joining me for a new season of Conversations with Coco. Some of you might be new to my platform, some of you might be returning. Welcome either way. Um, I have not put out an episode, I think maybe since like July, maybe like early August. And the last time y'all saw me or heard me on the episode, I was living in a completely different state. But I'm going to catch you up on that today. So if this is your first time listening, I do encourage you to take a step back and tune into my previous episodes to kind of bring you up to speed on who I am, what's going on in my life previously, um, how I got here today might make a little more sense if you go back and listen to past episodes. So I do encourage you to do so. But other than that, welcome. Now, I just want y'all to know that normally on Sundays, I look homeless. I don't move around much on Sundays. I do my grocery shopping, I get gas for the week, then I be at the crib. So I just want y'all to know that I actually got up and put effort into how I look today. And I did this for y'all. A round of applause for me. Because again, this is not me. So yeah. And I feel like I got a good angle. I don't know what it is about this angle and this lighting, but I'm really feeling myself today, which is good for me. So, yeah. But let's get into the show. So, today is going to be very short and sweet. One thing that you would know and notice about all of my shows is that I really get to the point and I get out. So, 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes max if I'm really into like talking my shit. If I have a guest, of course, it'll probably run longer because I'm in here talking to somebody. But when you're talking to yourself, it's only so much you can talk about. So, yeah, really gonna be in and out today. So, what I'm going to do in my time with you all today is really just bring you up to speed on what I have been doing, what I have going on currently, and what this new season of Conversations with Coco will consist of. So, basically, with my platform, it allows me to use my voice, basically just to be able to talk my shit. I mean, if you follow me on social media, one thing that you'll know is that I have opinions and I have feelings and I have thoughts and I have no issue in stating those things. I am a very transparent person, and that has not always been the case for me. Definitely had seasons in my life, mainly in my younger days, where I was not as transparent and not as open with things that I have had going on previously. But one thing that I truly believe deep down in my heart of hearts is that everybody has a story and a testimony on the inside of them, and you never know who needs what's on the inside of you. And time again, I might make a post talking about something, or I might do like an Instagram story or something, talking about, you know, it could be something going on with me at the moment. And it's usually always somebody like, yo, yes, I'm glad you talked about that. I completely agree. I didn't know how to put it into words. Like, thank you. So I definitely want to, make sure that I'm using my platform responsibly, and the goal is to be intentional with all of my conversations, be meaningful in all of my conversations, even with the people that I choose to join me on my platform. My goal is to make sure that when you all are listening, that you are able to take something away valuable to be able to use in life. So that's my goal with all of my episodes. So, um, one thing I do like to let people know ahead of time, I know that people are not into astrology. I am very into astrology. I actually plan on doing a show about it and bringing on two people with me that I think would be awesome. I am a Pisces. And with that comes a lot of emotions and a lot of like sensitivity. And so you'll see that come out a lot in a lot of the things I talk about in this show. I'm going to give you my authentic self. Um, a lot of my thoughts and views and opinions, some of them might come from the healed side of me and some of it might not, but you're going to get it all. And one disclaimer that I feel like I need to do before every show: any of my thoughts, opinions, and feelings expressed in this space are that of my own and not my employer or anyone that I represent through my employer. I just want to go ahead and put that out there. All of my thoughts, feelings, opinions, all of that, it's all me. It's not them. So just kind of felt the need to put that out there. So let's talk about what got me here. So the last time that y'all heard from me, I was residing in Texas, and now I am back home in Milwaukee. So a little bit of background: I lived in Texas for 6 years. I moved from Milwaukee in August of 2017 to Houston. I lived in Houston for 4 years, transitioned to Austin, lived in Austin for 2 years, and I'm back home. And if you had told me on January 1st of this year that I would be living back in Milwaukee by the end of August of the same year, I would have told you that you were a goddamn lie. Because no, why? Um, so this kind of just goes to show you that things change and you never know the deck of cards that life is going to deal you, and you're gonna have to just play the hand that you were dealt. And this is the prime example of that. So if you heard last episodes, you know that I left my job back in March. They was on some bullshit and I wasn't having it. So I left. Now, now that we're in November, I did that 8 months ago. I do not recommend. I don't recommend it. Um, it was pretty impulsive, which I can be pretty impulsive. Definitely a risk taker. But I don't recommend it. If I had known that the job market sucked as much as it did, I would not have done that. But somewhere deep in my spirit, I was just being led to just come home, come back to my beginnings, come back to where I started from, and kind of just get a fresh start. It had got pretty lonely for me being there, and all of my family and friends were here. And I just needed to be around love and be around like good positive energy and like be around people that I love. So I kept feeling it in my gut for a while that I needed to come home. Of course, I rejected it in the beginning. And talking to a few people, they're like, no, like it's nothing there. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. But I couldn't ignore what I was feeling deep down. Now, one thing I'll talk about in a different episode is I've really been into learning about human design. So, human design is similar to astrology. Astrology really covers like who you are on the outside as far as how people view you, but human design talks about your workup, like your inner parts. So what I found out through human design is that I am a manifesting generator. And again, I'll talk about that later. It probably makes no sense right now, but just follow. It'll make sense. And basically what that means is that when I feel something in my gut, I have to respond to it outwardly, whether it's a decision, whether it's an observation, whether it's like a feeling or an emotion. If I feel it in my gut, I need to go with that. And so I was definitely feeling in my gut that it was time for me to come home. So I packed up um my entire life and my kid, and I hit the road and drove 17 and a half hours north by myself. I will never in life do that shit again. Y'all really just be letting me do anything and don't nobody tell me no. I'm not gonna listen. But yeah, I that was a process. It took me a long time to like recover from that. Like I've never been tired to that extent. Um that shit was it was just a lot. Um but once I got here, I was quickly able to realize that it was a good move for me. Um and that it made sense. I think that number one, it was very quick for me to realize as far as like the energy with the way that everybody welcomed me home. I mean, it's a lot of y'all that I know from social media that I had never even met in person. And just being out and about in public or, you know, socializing and being at different events, like the way that everybody kind of received me and welcomed me home, I realized that deep in my soul, I really needed that. Um, and so it didn't take me long after being here to realize, like, okay, this is the reason why you were brought back home. So for me, it's not a move backwards, it was actually a move in the right direction. Even when it comes to my employer, people probably get tired of hearing me talk about, you know, my job all the time, but I really truly do enjoy what I'm doing. I like the people I work with, I like the individuals that I work for. And so it really turned out to be um, a good move for me. So, you know, still in the journey, still settling in, still a lot that I need to do within the process, but we're here. My kid is doing exceptionally well. His grades are good. He had got him a little friend girl. We're not gonna talk about that because I'm still wrapping my head around that. But yeah, we're here and we're just yeah. So one thing that I did that was absolutely insane in the midst of me packing and moving north. So let's take a step back. In February, I think it might have been early January. I don't even remember when, but Beyonce had announced that she was going on tour. So for those of you who do not know, I am a Beyonce fanatic, beehive all day. Watch your mouth, watch what you say, okay? Because I will cuss you behind her, period. I decided that I wanted to go to the concert and I ended up going solo. Now, I have been to a concert solo before. I went to go see Janae Eiko, but I had never been like out of state, like traveling alone to go to a concert. So it was like a lot to kind of wrap my head around. Originally, when I bought the ticket, it was around my birthday in February. So again, did not realize that my life was going to take me on a damn roller coaster very shortly after. But I went ahead and bought the ticket and I chose to go see her in Vegas because I mean, it's Vegas, right? Um, and so the concert ended up being on like August 26th or August 27th. And my move date was like August 28th, August 29th. And so a part of me was like, you just need to cancel it, just cancel it. But then my friends were like, no. Like, actually, my mom too, they were like, you have had a hell of a year. And even if it's just for a night, like, you need to go. So I literally like my flight left Austin at like three something, no, like one something on a Saturday. I landed in Vegas at like 4:45 Vegas time. Went, freshened up, changed, and I had already did all my makeup and stuff. Um, and was at Allegiant Stadium at the concert. Got back to the room at like 12 something midnight. Slept for like 2 3 hours, and I was back on the flight to Austin back in like the swing of things. But I wanted to kind of take a moment and just like, and I know this is like old news, but I don't care. Y'all can listen anyway. I really wanted to kind of just take a real quick moment to like dissect my whole like Beyonce experience because it was an experience. So first of all, some of y'all seen it if you follow me on social media, but this was my outfit. Cute, period. Now, what's funny about this outfit is that I ran into it actually on Facebook. I had so many other outfits put together. I had literally made like a collage with like different pieces, and I was sending them to people and trying to like figure out what I wanted to wear. And I was scrolling Facebook and this popped up and I was like, that's it. Like this is the look. Now, I know people have been like, oh, why y'all wearing aluminum foil? Why y'all looking all shiny and stuff? Don't worry about it. Mind your business. That's why it don't make sense to you. Don't worry about why we wore what we wore. It was a Renaissance album. That was the vibe of the album. You know, this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to step. I mean, right? Um, it was probably the most like amazing experience that I had. Like that was my moment of the year, and I needed that deep in my soul. Like even though I went by myself, I did not feel alone. It was like a couple next to me, and like me and a girl were like dancing and like singing to each other. It was a few people in front of me and on the side of me. Like the energy in the room was just it really left me speechless. Like honestly, so it was a lot of hoopla around social media, like, oh, how is she gonna start? Is she gonna start with Alien Superstar? Is she gonna start with her old stuff, her new stuff? What is she gonna do? Sis came out and started with ballads. I was not expecting that. So I'm gonna show y'all the video of when she first came out, and it kind of gives you an idea. Like my seats, I have really good seats. I'm gonna play this video. Please excuse my singing, but this is how she came out and how she started. Wait, hold on a minute. I pushed the wrong button. Here we go. So that's pretty much how she started. She was just so pretty, and the energy was just so amazing. I'm really glad that I had a chance to have that moment. In a few weeks, I get to relive that moment because Renaissance is coming out in the movie theater. Super excited about that. Might get dressed up again. Shit, I might put my dress back on again because I still got it. So why not? So that was something fun and exciting that I did. Um, One thing that you'll notice about my show is that I do have different segments. Today is kind of just a one-off day. This is just kind of my intro, me getting used to everything. So I really don't have all of my settings like in place. One of the segments that I do is my like what's my mood segment, and I have a button. Like damn, she on move. Like damn, she on move. So for that segment, what I'll usually do is I play a song or a video or a quote or something that kind of goes into detail about what my mood is for the moment. But I don't really have anything today. Honestly, I've been on like an old school kind of kick vibe almost. So I really been listening to mm, old 112. Like when I say old 112, I mean like their first album. I don't even know where that came from. And I've been listening to Dream. I think it's the Love Hate album. I've been listening to that. And one new song I've been into these days is Usher, Good Good. Although 21 Savage is completely misplaced on that song, but that's another story for another day. But like I said, next week I'll have that segment more together. I'll actually have like a song or something to kind of play for y'all. But yeah, so today's episode is really just about pivoting and how as adults, we really just have to roll with the punches and make adjustments and kind of just maneuver through life. Like life be life in. And I feel like everybody is really going through something nowadays. And you're really having to just like give each other grace because of that. I had made a post this week about like some damn portal being open because when I tell you it has been a week, it has been a week. Really for me, this week and I would say last week and maybe even a little bit of the week before. It's just been real like heavy and just a lot of different, you know, just energies. One thing that I'll say about me being here and kind of being settled and not having to worry about the things that I had to worry about back in Texas, I have had the opportunity to have a clear mind, a freer mind. And it's really allowed me to spend a lot of time with myself, self reflect, explore, like set goals, and kind of be in tune with myself in a way that I really have not had a chance to do this year because it's just been so much going on, and I did not have that type of time to um, dedicate to myself. Um, and so that's definitely a plus about kind of being back here is, me kind of being able to, step aside from who I am as like a mom and a friend and those titles that I hold and really get back to like who I am as Kayla and what do I need from myself and, my surroundings. So I have definitely been kind of going through and kind of cycling through all of that really. Um, and I feel like I've also been having moments of grief. I know I had made a post, I think like last week, and I was just talking about how I was having Texas withdrawals. But I'm like, if you think about it, I mean, this is a place that I call home for 6 years. So there are a lot of aspects of the place that I miss. Even aside from the people, I miss my house that I was living in. I feel like it was perfect for me and my son, and I never had an intention on having to leave. So, thinking about that makes me grieve, or even like little restaurants and stuff, or, you know, my gym that I was going to, for me, it was like a community. So, missing that and, missing neighbors and just kind of missing the the quality of life that we had there before things kind of took a turn. Um, and I also feel like I've really been grieving where I thought I would be at this point in my life. Um, I had imagined, I would say probably like early 20s, that, I'd be settled in by now, have the years under my belt in a career, you know, pretty much like this fantasy of a life that I had. I was expecting it to kind of be settled in by now. And it's not in the way that I thought. And so I feel like I'm definitely grieving what I thought my life would be at this point. Um, and really just cycling through that. Because I feel like the way that the life is set up now, it can be exhausting, especially when you do everything alone. Like before I got here, I call it chronically alone. I was doing everything alone. Like, single parent, living alone, every obstacle that kind of came my way, I was figuring out all of that shit by myself. And there does come a time where that shit get irritating. One thing you'll hear me talk about throughout the show is like my relationship and how I process like men in general. I mean, most days I hate niggas, but then you have those rare days where I'm like, I'm tired of doing this life alone. I want to be in love. I want to be, and y'all will be able to go on that journey with me. Again, as I stated in the beginning, there'll be healed opinions about things and there'll be unhealed opinions about things. But all in all, I'm working on all of it. So definitely grieving like where I thought my life would be at this point. Um, and also grieving, I would say, because of like people. And I don't really go into too much detail, but I think that one thing that I'm going through right now that I've really been on a struggle bus with, I would say for the last like week or two, um, is really like friendships and like the breakdown of friendships. I think right now I'm kind of in a situation where I'm experiencing like the breakdown or like the ending of like a friendship that I thought would be around forever. Um, and there's a lot of grief and like emotion around that. So if I do kind of sound emotional, it's because I am. Like I'm not about to sit here and like cry in front of y'all or anything, but my feelings are really hurt. I'm cycling through that, and I was talking to my friend yesterday, and I realized that this is really like the first time that I'm experiencing that. Um, My friendships are something that I hold really close to my heart and really near and dear. I really, really love my friends, and I would do anything for my friends, and I have done anything for my friends. If you know anything about me, I'm a very nice and kind and considerate and helpful and supportive, and um that's just who I am at the core. Like even if I don't want to be, I am. And my friends, they show up for me, they reciprocate. I mean, that's been one of the most amazing things being home is that really my friends, like they meet my love languages. Like my love languages are quality time and touch. Like my friends are going to hug me. They're going to hold my hand. They are going to, lay next to me and watch movies. They are going to spend time with me. They've been going above and beyond to like, for us to kind of make up for that lost time. And so one thing that I have found to be difficult is when you make new friends and they struggle to meet those needs, and that's not something that you're used to. Um, and I don't. One of the things themes that I have for this year is really getting up from the table when I am not okay with what's being served to me, or um, when I no longer like the experience that I'm being provided. Um, and so this is one of those situations where I feel like I've talked and talked and expressed myself about, you know, what I feel like needed to be changed. And I think that when you deeply care about and adore somebody, it's very hurtful when you feel like you're not being seen, you're not being heard, you're not being regarded to the point that you feel like you actually have to remove yourself from the situation because it's like you don't matter. And I've never had to kind of just walk away from anything because I was made to feel like that. Um, and it's hurtful to feel like, you don't matter. And you're not supposed to compare yourself to other people or compare how you see a person treating somebody else to how they treat you. I know that you're not supposed to do that, but I also feel like it gets to a point where it almost can't be ignored. It's like, I'm being treated this way. These people don't have to go through that. Is it me? What's going on? This doesn't make sense to me. And eventually you just get tired. And so that's kind of something that I'm cycling through right now. I don't know what the end result is. I don't know if it's fixable. I don't know if it's repairable. I think that if it is, it's not on me because I've already gone above and beyond. Um, but I think that I'm okay with whatever the outcome is because I know that I've gave everything that I have, and I don't have no more to give. So that's definitely been something that I've been grieving a lot about. Um, and I've been super emotional. Like I've been crying about it and everything. Um, so yeah, that's just one of those things about adulthood and pivoting. Like it should be fucked up sometime, and you really got to know how to maneuver. And it's not gonna always feel good, but here we are, adulting. Life be life and life got hands. All of those phrases you hear is true. So that's why with my platform, I really want to bring things to the forefront for us to kind of talk about it and cycle through it together. Some of the things I want to talk about are things that I feel like are not really talked about a lot. I want to talk about family dynamics. I want to talk about, parenting from a different perspective. I'm not a relationship podcast, although I might talk about relationships. I don't want to just talk about romantic relationships. I want to talk about platonic relationships, how to maneuver through like the situation I just told y'all about. How do you maneuver through that? It's new for me. I don't know how to maneuver through it. I just know what feels good and what don't feel good, right? So I really want to talk about things that I feel like that can help move us forward. So if you all ever have any ideas or suggestions on topics, or even if you want to kind of come on and join me here, more than welcome to do so. Reach out to me. We can talk about it, get it all planned out, and bring you in. Um, so that's really what I have been doing recently. Conversations with Coco is something that I find is very near and dear to my heart. I do have a lot of different goals for my platform, and I'm excited. One thing I struggled with last season was kind of being in my feelings about engagement and like listens and all of that. But one thing I realized in this season is that it really doesn't matter because I'm doing it for me. Um, and if people listen, they listen, and if they don't, they don't. And that's just pretty much where we are with that. One of the last segments that I do on my show is a WTF moment of the week. I have buttons and I'm so excited about that. Like I said, I don't know what portal opened up this week, but it has been a hell of a week. And I'm not gonna take up too much of y'all time because I know that all next week, all of the podcasts are all you're gonna be talking about all of this stuff. Um, the my main WTF moment of the week, I would say, is this whole like Diddy and Cassie situation. That is very unfortunate. I am very proud of her for stepping up and speaking up for herself and doing what she felt like was right for her in her story. And at the timing that she chose to do it, the timing should never be questioned because that's not up to us. That's up to her. She did it at the time that she felt was right. But it's just crazy to me that so many people are talking about like, oh, she just did it for money. She just did it for this. She just did it for that. Um, he not even getting no jail time. Well, I need y'all to look up the difference between civil cases and criminal cases because typically in the civil case, there's a money involvement. In a criminal case, that's ran a bit differently. So she filed the way that she felt like she needed to file. It's sickening to me in this age of social media that another person's like trauma and what they've gone through is like clickbait. Like y'all wanted her to pursue criminal charges, get dragged through court, him go to jail or not, whatever, just for y'all to write bullshit ass think pieces, have her plastered all over the blogs. It's bad enough that there's a 35-page court document detailing all of that shit that she just had to go through. And that's out there for the world to see. But y'all wanted her to be dragged through the mud more just for you to write about it and read about it and listen about it. Like that that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. But karma is a bitch. And what you do in the dark will always come to the light. And I think that's what he's experiencing now. And I think that that is not the end of it. But like I said, I'm not going to bore y'all with that because y'all going to be able to hear it. Y'all probably tired of it at this point. And all of the podcasts are going to be talking about it next week. So, yeah. Um, but yeah, so today's episode, real short and sweet. Not exactly sure when I'll be back live. Again, I do know that I will be here bi-weekly. So most likely after Thanksgiving, and then we'll establish what a set schedule is. Again, if this is your first time listening, or if you are a previous listener and you want to catch up on all of my previous episodes, find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Conversations with Coco. Feel free to like and follow there. I do have a YouTube, Conversations with Coco. Like, follow, subscribe. And then you can watch the replay at some point next week, whenever my producer decides to schedule it. It'll show up. I'll share it. And you can also find me on all of your favorite streaming platforms, except for Apple Music. Um, and I can't remember why I'm not on Apple Music, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for those of you that did tune in today, and when y'all see me live, feel free to comment. Um, I'm just seeing this comment. I don't know what you meant by that and what I said. You grew up in Hillside. I don't even know what Hillside is. I grew up on 24th Place and Center. And then I grew up for the other part of my childhood on 65th and Silver Spring. So I don't know what Hillside is. And I don't know what I said to make you say that. But yeah. Um, but yeah. This was season 2, episode 1 of Conversations with Coco. Rebrand, new location, new network, new everything. I do appreciate you all for taking time to listen to me today. That has been my time. I'm gonna get out your way because I got shit to do. And I'm actually gonna be back later because Mimi wants me to come today to her show. So see me later in the same room on Socially Awkward. And she goes live between like 8:30, 8:45. So y'all can tune in to those shenanigans. But yeah, I need a nap because those are 3-hour shows. So yeah, I got shit to do. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. And until next time, I'm gonna call y'all back. I also need y'all to comment and tell me I'm really feeling this look today. Like the way the camera and the lights hitting his skin, like y'all see Coco. Coco is Cocoing today. But yeah, until next time, I'm gonna call y'all back. Have a happy